Hello everyone. Happy New Year. How you doing today, everybody? Corey here, coming at you today for my first walk and talk of 2026. It is Saturday, January 3rd, 2026, and it is a bit of a dark and gloomy day here in Desroches, but the rain has stopped, so I thought I best get out and go for a walk. Sadie and I are out for a walk on our property and kicking off 2026. I hope you had a fantastic holiday season. For most of us, this weekend is kind of the end of the holidays. We've already cleaned up most of Christmas. I got the tree down and the stockings down, and just, getting cleaned up, spending the day in the office today, planning for 2026, getting all of my meetings and conferences and fairs and all the stuff that we do in a year, getting them all out on the calendar before all of the days in between start filling up. We had a nice Christmas. Christmas for us is usually a bit quieter. No young kids in our family anymore. And of course, no kids for Yosuke and I at all. So it's an adult Christmas. And that usually means spending time with family, eating lots of delicious food, and resting. It's a resting time, and I call, the Christmas break rings true for me. It's a time to take a break from all the things that keep us, and I'll use the word, they keep us so busy throughout the year. So I'm very thankful for a couple of weeks each year to relax and unwind and recharge. And you may have saw I did spend a couple of days this week reflecting on 2025, and as I said in my post, generally it was a great year. We're definitely trending in a positive forward motion, and while not all the days were fun days, when you put all the days together, there were definitely more good days than days that weren't as good. So, of course, every day that we get an opportunity to live and breathe the air is a good day. It was a roller coaster of a year. Many highs, a few lows, but as I said, generally trending in a positive upward motion. So what does that mean for 2026? Well, the zodiac calendar, it's the year of the horse. And if you look into a little bit more about what that represents, the horse represents movement. And so 2026 should be a year of movement. And I think we can interpret that as physical movement. So I'm definitely going to make a goal to get out and walk more and be more active physically. But it also means movement within our lives. And for me, 2026 actually for me means that I'm going to turn 50. In September, I will turn 50 years old. And so the movement for me is almost like moving into another decade, to use a Taylor Swift reference, another era of my life. And I'm excited. I'm excited to launch my next decade in September. And I think for me, the movement is going to be a lot of movement towards that next era of my life. So Yosuke and I have been doing a lot of talking about what the next 10 years might look like for us. We've got some goals. We've got some new projects that we'd like to work on, both individually and as a couple. And some of those are personal, private goals and dreams that we have for ourselves and for each other. And some of them are more public, business, career, all of that sort of stuff. So save the date, September 19th. I've got the Desroches Community Hall booked, and we're going to have a big celebration of 50 years on this planet and the launch of the next decade. So September 19th, my birthday is not September 19th, but that's the Saturday closest to my birthday. So I've got the Desroches Hall booked, and I haven't put a lot of thought into it. Yeah, I have. I'm thinking it's going to be a bit of an open invitation. See how many people will show up to celebrate my birthday with me. But also, this year marks the end of my term as the electoral area director for Fraser Valley Regional District Area G. It's hard to believe that it was all the way back in 2022 where I was elected and given the privilege and responsibility of representing the residents of Area G with the Fraser Valley Regional District. And so October 17th will be election day for British Columbia. All local governments will hold their elections for mayor, council, school trustee, area director. Those elections will happen October 17th of this year. So not only will September 19th at the Desroches Hall be a celebration of my 50th birthday, but it will also be the launch of my campaign for re-election for director for electoral area G. So mark it on your calendar. Details will be coming. And if nothing else, I'm just looking forward to celebrating and having friends and family join us. I've got some ideas for some entertainment. Of course, the pressure's on, being an event planner, planning my own birthday party. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So I hope you can join us for that. And with regards to the election coming up, in some jurisdictions, the silly season, the election season, has already begun. All the way back in September, there were a number of mayors from throughout Metro Vancouver and I think the Fraser Valley. We've had some announcements of people who are running, people who are not planning to run. And so let the games begin, as they say. And what I plan to do over the next 10 months is to put out a series of videos talking about the role of an electoral area director with the Fraser Valley Regional District, talk about some of the work that we've been doing over the past 3.5 years as a board, and to talk about what I think are some of the priorities for our area and our region over the next 4 years. Local government terms in BC are 4 years, so I'm just coming up to completing my first 4-year term, and I'm going to run again for another 4 years. And hopefully, I've done enough work in Area G that the residents here acknowledge and think is good, and I'll be asking for their confidence for another 4-year term. So that's fun, that's exciting. And of course, on top of that, I think I mentioned in my previous video, or one of my previous videos, in December, I was elected chair of the Electoral Area Services Committee, and that's the committee of 8 directors that represent the electoral areas in the Fraser Valley. So, Hatzic Prairie, Pecoma Creek, Boston Bar, Sunshine Valley, Yale, Popcom, of course, Area C right next door, Harrison Mills, Lake Ayrock, Chilliwack River Valley, Cultus Lake, a lot of area, a lot of territory that is represented by the 8 electoral area directors at the Fraser Valley Regional District. And I was picked to be the chair of that committee for the next 10 months. So it's going to be a full year. As I mentioned, I'm working through my calendar today for 2026, getting all of the meetings and conferences all lined up. Of course, we've already started working on plans for AgriFair 2026. I will be in the manager's chair for another edition of Abbotsford AgriFair, and that'll be July 31st to August 2nd. So that'll be busy. I've been invited back to be the announcer for the Fraser Valley Antique Tractor Pullers Association. So that'll be Aldergrove Fair, Chilliwack Fair, Agassiz Fair. So I got to get those on the calendar. And fingers crossed, I'll be back at the P&E this year as well. So working on some stuff there. It's going to be a full year, and I'm looking forward to it. So in addition to all of that, as I said, Yosuke and I are working on some projects, doing some planning for some future ventures. And so we'll be working on that over the next few months as well. So always lots to look forward to. I think that's a really important part of life, is always having something to look forward to work towards, to give us purpose and direction. And I've got no shortage of purpose and direction in my life. So that'll be fun. Things to look forward to. We are planning, so far we're definitely planning one trip in 2026. It'll be in May, which is a different time of year for us. And it'll be a family trip. So we will be traveling to Europe. I think it's still considered Europe. In May with my mom and dad and my sister and her husband. And the 6 of us are going to go on a 1-week adventure to celebrate my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. So that's exciting. And first time in a long time I've gone somewhere other than Japan, which, to be honest, I have mixed feelings about, because I absolutely love Japan. But I know that my mom really, really would like to go to the Chelsea Flower Show in London in May. And so we're going to take her there. And I know Yosuke's been really wanting to go to England. And while this is not necessarily the trip where we're going to do all the things we want to do in England, it'll give us a taste of what's there, and hopefully inspire us to go back. Of course, that's where my grandmother, Nan was born in England and came across as a war bride to Canada in 1946. We're going to go and check out the Chelsea Flower Show in London, and then head down to the Surrey Guildford area and see where that part of our family is from. So that's going to be exciting. I know that kind of in the background, Yosuke and I have been talking about a 50th birthday trip, but with the election and a whole bunch of things, kind of planned for the fall. We've made no definite plans yet for that trip, though it's quite likely that we'll head back to Asia again at some point in 2026. Beyond all of that, as I said, I want to be more physically active. I wrote down to get out for a walk or do something active for 30 minutes every day. So we'll see how that goes. I also want to be more socially active. I got a lot of wonderful people in my life. Yosuke and I are very fortunate to have a fantastic communities that we're part of. But I often find a lot of my social interactions revolve around my work. So, and that's great. I love it. I work with awesome people and I love them all to death. And I don't want to spend less time working or hanging with colleagues. But I think there's an opportunity to explore a social side that doesn't have anything to do with work or any reference to what we do in our day-to-day lives, and maybe some socializing around common interests or hobbies or that sort of stuff. So definitely want to get out on my motorcycle more in 2026. And I haven't talked a lot about the journey that I've been on with my motorcycles, both in terms of ensuring that the old bikes that I really enjoy are in a working condition mechanically, that it's a good idea for me to get on a 30-year-old motorcycle and go tootling off, across the province. So we've been working a good year and a half at that and making sure that the old bikes that I'm so fond of are in good working order. But also the challenges I've been having getting my bike license. And I won't get into the details, but still don't have my full bike license. And now they've changed the rules on the process of getting the license, or they changed the process. So I don't really know what that means, but I definitely wrote it down that I want to ride my motorcycle more in 2026 and explore that hobby and the community that might be available to us out on the open road. So there's that, and some other interests. Some people that I've had a connection with for a while, but have never really, invested time in getting to know them on a deeper level. So, yeah, getting more active socially that way. And also, when we talk about launching the next decade or the next era of my life, there's also things here with the property, with my family, as we enter our next phases of life, so do the others in our family. And so, really engaging more with the family and our role here on the property and what that looks like as we launch into this new era of life. So yeah, lots going on. I'm excited for what the new year has to bring. I'm ready for whatever life has to throw at us. And hopefully in a year from now, we can look back as fondly on 2026 as 2025. And I do also want to acknowledge, as I have in previous videos, that, you know, I acknowledge my privilege. I'm privileged to have been born into the family that I am, that I was. I'm privileged to have found an amazing life partner. I'm privileged with good health. I'm privileged to live in one of the greatest, most beautiful countries in the world. And I acknowledge that because I know that there's some people watching this video that maybe didn't have as good a year as I did. And I acknowledge that. I have empathy. And I guess one kind of little thing that I've kind of held on to in my life, and I kind of referred to it in my 2025 post on Facebook yesterday, was just, you know, it can be easy for any of us to really zero in on the days that weren't so good, or the events that were upsetting and evoke emotion that's not pleasant. You know, lots of people have lost loved ones. I know a bunch of people lost their jobs in 2025. I know people who have had health challenges. There's a lot that goes on that we can let get us down. But I think it's important for me to always be looking back, not for the bad things that have happened, but looking for the good things. Because if we look for the good, and I've got a colleague at the Dudney who is really, really good, shout out to Michaela, on her social media, is really, really good at just pulling out the good in each day. And I think that we really need to do that. I learned through the AA program, not that I've been part of the AA program, but I know many people who have, you know, that old adage of one day at a time. And if we kind of take each day, one day at a time, and when we look back, we consider one day at a time, I think we can make a choice to find the good in life. And I hope that for any of you watching this who don't feel like much good happened in your life or is happening in your life, I just hope that you are able to find the good. And as I said at my friend Rob's wedding in May, you know, celebrate the good stuff. I'm planning a party for my 50th birthday because I want to celebrate the fact that I've made it to 50. And for all intents purposes, it's been a good run so far, and I want to celebrate that. And so taking the time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries and just those milestones in life that are good, the little things. You know, they say don't sweat the small stuff, but for heaven's sake, celebrate it. Celebrate all that is good in our lives. And hopefully the light will get rid of the darkness. So anyway, I'm getting really deep here on my first walk and talk video of 2026. That's something else I'm going to try to do more in 2026. If I'm going to be out walking, I might as well be talking. I think it was 27 walk and talk videos, the long walk and talk videos, 24 minutes. This is a long one. I think I did 27 videos in 2025, and so that means about half. Every other week, roughly, I was posting a video, and I do have a goal to get out every Saturday in 2026 and just share my thoughts. And if for no other reason, it's a journal for myself that I can look back and reflect on how I was feeling about the things that were happening in my life. So I hope that you'll follow along. Again, everybody, just Happy New Year. I hope that you're as excited about 2026 as I am. And let's launch ourselves into the new year. Let's embrace the year of the horse and get moving. And my favorite thing to say in Japanese is ikimashou. Let's go. Let's go together and let's have a great year. Thanks for following along and putting up with my ramblings for the last 25 minutes. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. It's going to be a great year. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week. Bye for now.